to the channel, everybody. LevelMDiecast. Call it a MiniGT Monday. Just happens to be working out very well the last few weeks to bring you some new MiniGT action. This is the newest hauler. This is the Mercedes-Benz Actros Racing Transporter for Advan. See, it is Advan. Now, this one does not come with the S15 silhouette. The S15 silhouette is separate. So this is separate. This is number 649 going with the truck, which is number 741. So let's go ahead and just get the truck open and start with that guy. We will start with the cellophane on the outside as normal. Get the cellophane pulled off of there. Figure out where our seam is. Our seam is at the bottom. So we will get the seam out there. There we go. Get this turned around the right way. Now, this is the first car hauler released where the hauler does not come with a car. However, you know, they released that S15 at the exact same time. So, you know, they're trying. I just thought it was a little interesting that it didn't come with the S15. Most people assume that it did, but unfortunately it does not. Two things of styrofoam. Of course, the first one is the trailer. And then the second one we pull out here is the cab. We'll set the box out the studio for just 1 second. Set that to the side. So we'll start with the cab. As always, it is taped on both sides. It is a kind of clamshell style for the styrofoam packaging. So nothing changed there. It does have an arrow indicating the correct direction. So this one seems to be good. No particular pieces seem to be loose or missing or anything like that. There is the Advan hauler. Actros on the front. There is your Mercedes-Benz logo, which looks good. This uses just silver print for the wheel hubs. It does say Advan on the side, Yokohama, and then the 1851 for the Actros logo. It does have some tubing in the back for airlines and stuff like that. The tanks are painted silver. It does have a pivoting fifth wheel. Of course, rubber tires, as you expect. It does have steering to it as well. The cab does not tilt or anything. The front end is very cool. It's got a little bit of red print there for the grille, which I think is a nice little nod. And then a little bit of Advan there on the top. Looks pretty good. The taillights are lensed. Most of the details on here are flat black as far as the chassis goes. But the rest of it is gloss black, so that looks pretty good. We'll set the truck right there. Set our styrofoam to the side. And then, of course, here is the car hauler. This has always been a very interesting to deal with piece. It is relatively fragile. It is quite involved. There's just a lot to it. And it's a very nice one. They've done a very good job on it. But it's a deal. So pull this guy right out of there. There's no assembly required for these particular trucks. Which is good. You get something like a GCD, it'll have a little bit more detail to it, but there's some assembly is required. There is the deets on the side. This thing is all die-cast. It weighs about 22 metric tons. It says Motorsport Support Team. There is your good old deco on the side. No like print or anything on there for all the little rivets or anything like that. No silver print at all. That's kind of interesting. Seems a little bit of a step back, in my opinion. Details on the other side are exactly the same. There is one access door. Does not open up. And then there is the deets in the back. This one seems to be certainly lacking some print details to it. So this rear section here does open up, as you may or may have not seen before. But it opens up. You see there is styrofoam in the top. The little tray right here. This is plastic. So this comes off, and then you can get the styrofoam out of there, theoretically. Might have to get a little creative here. Some scissors. There we go. So we can grab it. It is designed just to hold that piece of plastic. You see it is completely hollow in there. But the piece of plastic just sits on the top. It doesn't slot into anything. It just sits there. So that is so you can put a second row of cars in there, which is definitely a good feature. There is the back door. The back door does raise if you want to put up, you know, cars onto the second row. It does go up to the second row just like that. This is wire, but it is very small, very thin wire, so you don't want to get too carried away with it. And bring it back down. You just kind of slide it down. It's a little bit precarious. There's a couple of ramps here at the back. The very, very first one that I ever personally got, that Liberty Walk one, these were not, glued or not attached properly. They seem to have fixed that issue. So this just does sit in the fifth wheel. It does not click into the fifth wheel, but it does sit in the fifth wheel. So it does pull it just fine. There is the hauler in all of its glory. And then there is your ramp in the back here to drive the car on. And since we're going to need a car, let's go ahead and move to the car. That is your Super Silhouette Advan S15, number 649. This one is a little bit separated on the plastic, so we don't need to cut. Just the way it works with the heat shrink. I really do find it very interesting that this is not included with the hauler. I think maybe MiniGT did that because maybe they figured there would be people who are interested in getting the S15 Advan, but don't necessarily want the hauler. However, if you're an Advan Deco fan, you can't not get this hauler. Like, you just can't do it. It just doesn't work that way. So we'll pull out our S15. Take a look at this guy. This is not a new casting. Been out for a while. There's been quite a few versions of it already. Not beat to death, but it has been used quite a bit. As a matter of fact, they just dropped out a pre-order for a new one coming out in the future. It does say LB Racing on there, Liberty Walk, Advan, LB Performance on the windshield banner, Advan on the wing in the back. There is the deets on the side, the classic Advan, your Liberty Walk logo there on the side. And then, of course, we got some HKS on there, some Bride, LB Racing on the chin spoiler. This looks pretty good. I wish this would have had yellow tinted lights. I think that would have looked a lot better in my opinion. But this one still looks very, very good. Details in the back. It says Yokohama on it. Liberty Walk, pretty much beating the Liberty Walk to death even more on the side of the wing there. And then there is the base deets. It's a relatively detailed base. So MiniGT is doing a little bit more of that these days. But you would take your Liberty Walk car, you would drive it up here, get it onto your platform if you wanted to put it up on the second row. It does hold it just perfectly fine, and then you would just roll the car in there. No big deal. So that actually looks pretty dang cool. So let's pull this a little bit forward. It's a relatively straightforward unboxing, relatively straightforward situation. But this truck is pretty nice. This just continues the excellent car haulers that MiniGT's done. Throw in some very iconic decos on there. I'm sure that we have more coming around the corner, but it seems to be a little bit slow on the releases. They've actually released quite a few of these trucks this year, and hopefully that continues to roll. We'll kind of pull this guy out, give ourselves a little stance to roll out with, but there you go. That is your MiniGT Monday. A little bit of Advan, a little bit hauler, a little bit S15, a little bit Liberty Walk, hitting all the little notches for MiniGT. So let me know what you guys think about that. Drop a comment. Don't forget to subscribe. Appreciate every single one of you. As always, subscribers, viewers, you're all the best. Level M. Peace.